everybody and God bless. So I had a dream today, and in the dream what happened was I was told to deliver some sort of package to a school. And again, this is a school that I actually didn't go to this school, but it was a middle school that's in our neighborhood, the other middle school for the other kids on the other side of school. And then when you go to high school, everybody goes together. But so it was the other middle school that I did not go to, and it's important because I mentioned it in a dream. But anyways, so in the dream, the school looked complete 100% different. It looked like a college, and in real life, this school looks like a prison. Like, it's a box, literal box. Like, my middle school actually had like it was like, you know, like a building over here and a little building over here. Like, it was connected. It was one building, but it was like, it looked like a school. This middle school in real life looks like a box shaped prison, and I've been inside of it before, and I literally was like, I need to get out of here. I felt like I was trapped. But in my dream, it was more open. The walls were like glass, the doors were glass, and it was huge, and it looked really beautiful inside. And so I went in there and I went to the front desk, and the front desk literally looked like a receptionist desk. Like, it wasn't in an office, because that's how like schools are. Like, the front desk is normally inside of a room, but it wasn't like that. It was like a podium, like right there as soon as you walked in. So that's pretty much how it looked like. It looked like an office building mixed with like a college office building. Anyways, so I go to the front and I talk to this guy that was there, and he looks at me like he was in shock, like oh my goodness, like I don't know, like a celebrity just walked in. Like, that's how he looked at me, like I was a big deal. And he was like really nervous to talk to me, and I was just like, I need to deliver this package to such and such. I don't know where I was going, but I need to deliver this package. And he was just like, yeah, you can go that way. And he told me how to go. And so I went to where I need to go. I delivered the package. I don't even remember seeing the package. I don't remember going to where I need to go. That whole part was just a blur. And then all of a sudden it was time for me to leave. So I'm not sure if it jumped or I just genuinely don't remember that part. So as I was going to leave, I look over, and that's when I saw the cafeteria in this place, and I was like, oh my goodness, it looked like a restaurant. And I've been to colleges before where they have it like that. They have it set up like a like, have you ever been to a mall and, you know, like the food thing? But this place, it really just looked like a regular, like a restaurant. Just, it was one thing. It didn't have different places. It was just one restaurant type thing, and you go up to the front and you order up front, and they have pictures of their smoothies, and I was like, oh my goodness, like I can get a smoothie real quick. Like, it shouldn't take that long for me to just get a smoothie. But when I went up there, that's when I noticed they had nachos, and I was like, it's so rare for me to get nachos, because a lot of nachos are on the list. And I said that in the dream. I said a lot of nachos on the list, and I cannot eat anything that's on the list. And so I was like, oh, can I get nachos? And then I walked off to like a little bit, and that's when I noticed like it was so crowded in there. Like, I didn't even notice that at first, because all I saw was a smoothie, and then I changed my mind to get the nachos, so I never got the smoothie. But I noticed how crowded it was, and it was so crazy. And then they called me and they were like, oh, your food's ready. And I went up there to get my food, and the people who were serving the food was like overly nice, like not natural, but nice, like overly nice. And I was just like, okay. And it was weird because I felt like they were treating me the same way that the reception dude was treating me, like I was maybe some famous celebrity type person. And now that I think about it, that's how the workers were. The workers, like, they knew who I was. Like, what is she doing here? Like that. But since she's here, we're gonna just try to make it seem comfortable for her to want to stay. That's how it was. So I turn around and I go to try and sit down. And now the students, they look like they were my age. Now I'm 24. So, and this is a middle school. So do the math. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. But I think what it was showing was that, like, spiritually, they are so beneath, so below. But anyways, so basically what happened was I went to go and try and sit down. Now, they were not treating me very kind. They were very rude, very mean. And I was just like, oh, I'm just trying to sit down. And all of a sudden, this like people pleaser-ness came over me again. And if you know my testimony, that is a very huge thing that I overcame. And so in the dream, it was like I still overcame it. So I was able to control it a bit. because when you are genuinely like possessed by it, you cannot control it. You know this is wrong, but you can't control it. In the dream, I knew it was a people pleaserness, and I was able to control it enough to be like second guessing it, like I shouldn't be doing this. And I was trying to sit down, and I was just like, I was like a little, it's like I became a child again, being like yelled at, you know, like you're in a corner and you're just trying to like keep the peace. And I was trying to find somewhere to sit, and then that's when I really realized like I'm being a people pleaser. I need to stop. Like I need to get out of here. And so that's when I also looked down at my nachos, and I noticed they weren't even nachos. It was a pizza. It was a cheese pizza, and there was stuff you were supposed to put on it, and you were supposed to do that yourself. So when I ordered the nachos, it was supposed to already be, you know, taken care of, the nachos and the cheese. Now I personally don't like cheese all over my nachos. I like them on the side, but in the dream they were supposed to do all of that. But when they had gave me the food, it was not even what I ordered, and it was something that I had to put work into to make it taste better. Okay, we'll get more into that later. Anyways, so then I was just like, I need to get out of here. I don't like this. This is not okay. And it was like, it wasn't a struggle, but I knew it was supposed to be. Like I knew something was trying to make it a struggle, but I was like, no, I have to get out of here. I need to get out of here. And when I looked over to try and leave, that's when I noticed this guy that I've had a dream about before. And in real life, he was the cause of me being bullied. He indirectly bullied me really, really badly. And convinced everybody in the entire school that I was stalking him and all this stuff. And I would not be surprised if he was some satanic something, because he literally would, like, when we were in the hallway by ourselves, he would like bark at me like a demon. Like it was crazy. But then when we were around other people, he was all nice and sweet. Like that didn't just happen, but okay. Anyways, now in the dream I saw him, and I was like, I don't want him to see me. I don't want him to see me at all. And then I was like, I need to hurry up and get out of here. And I tried to run. And that's when I noticed that I was wearing a beautiful dress, and my dress had got dirty because I was in this cafeteria area, and the cafeteria was filthy and dirty. So the bottom of my dress was dirty, and I was wearing heels. So I couldn't even run. I just could speed walk, and I didn't want the heels to be too loud. So I waited until he fully passed me, and then I maneuvered and got out. And somehow I was able to start reading people's minds. It's like everything that everybody was thinking, I was able to read what they were thinking. And somebody was thinking, I'm not sure if it was him, but somebody in his group, or it was him, was thinking how they used to go the way that I'm going, and there's a gym over there. So I'm not sure if that meant that they saw me, or they were just thinking that. And the way that I was going, I did end up walking into a gym, and there were people working out everywhere, and something about it was just weird. And I was just like, I just want to get out of here. And I felt like it was supposed to be another way to try and stop me, because I definitely was thinking to myself, like, this is a very nice gym room, but I need to get out of here. I started recognizing that even though it looked like it was nice, I was just like, this equipment looks cheap. Like, it doesn't look like it's safe. Like, it's like, this doesn't look right. Something's not, like, I felt like something's not right. So yeah, it looked like it was fine. So let me correct that. It looked like it was fine, but something didn't feel right in me. And I was like, I need to get out of here. And so I went to leave, and then I found myself back at the reception desk, and I went back to talk to him again, and he was still just as nervous talking to me. And I was like, can I go this way? And what I was talking about was, in the reception desk, there was a little area to like go behind him, and behind him there was like lounge chairs and everything like that. But I also saw my car, because like I said, the walls were glass, so I could see my car through that wall. So I was like, and there's an exit doors over there. I was like, can I go this way? And he was like, yeah. Like, he said it real slow, and he was going so slow. I was just like, bro, like, I think I walked past him before he even finished his sentence, because I was like, I gotta go. Like, I'll just figure it out on my own. That's how I was. I was like, I'll just figure it out on my own, but I need to get out of here. And so when I went close to the doors, that's when I noticed that the two doors that I saw, there was one that was like facing my way, so I'm walking in this way and I could see it, and then there was one that was like diagonal. Hopefully that, like, it was like a book, like a I don't know, but so I couldn't fully see that door. So, but because it was the way it was, I just thought it was open, because the other door was flat like this, and the other door was like that. I don't know how to show that, but so I thought it was open. And that's when I noticed, I looked up and I saw, you know how doors are when you push them open and they've got like that long bar? That long bar was at the top. And so I was like, why is it? It was all like there was no way for me to push that. And I was like, what is going on? And I was just like what I could see was, first of all, both doors were closed. It was just that way because I was against a wall. Somehow it was built that way. And number two, I saw that the reason why the handle was all the way up there because it was an emergency door and you could only open it if there was an emergency, and I knew a bell would go off. And something in me, clear as day, said, you can go through that door. However, I was distracted by what I saw. And I was like, maybe I'm not hearing right. And I second guessed what I heard. I turned around and I knew that there was a front door. And I was like, I'll just go that way. Now the front door was, so like my car was on this wall and the front door was on this wall. So I would have had to go out that door, turn the corner, and then go all the way to my car. So I didn't listen to the voice that was telling me that I should have gone out that car. I could have gone out that door. I turned around instead and went out the front door. And as I'm going out the front door, that's when I saw two other students. And I still was thinking, I don't want them to see me this way because my dress was disgustingly dirty at the bottom. But at the same time, it was like, but I'm not going to let this hesitate me anymore. If they see me, then they see me. Like, I don't even care. Like, I care. I don't want them to see me, but I've got to get out of this door. I have to get out of here. This is not okay. Like, I got to get out of here. Okay. So that was the end of the dream. Yes. I've talked about this multiple times, to always ask God to show you your heart. Always. There's always something that needs to be either improved or fixed, cast out, delivered, something. Anybody can fall, and not just falling, but also all of us, there's always a higher level. Now the dream that I posted before this, it was showing there was more to it. There was more to keep going. Now, obviously the reason why we're not all at that highest level is because there's obstacles we need to get past. There's still deliverance we need to get over. So just because God shows you a correction, something that you need to correct in your life, don't beat yourself up on that. And it's crazy because somebody commented underneath one of my videos, and then I had reposted it, and they were talking about that, like how don't let the pain cause you to turn on God. Allow it, like let it bring you closer to God. Because when I see correction, and the word of God talks about this, I think it's in Psalm, but it says, Job, it's in Job. Okay, it talks about being happy when God corrects you and God gives you judgment. Unfortunately, it was one of his friends that said that, but that was very truthful, because there are so many people on this earth that say only God can judge me. Listen, when God judges you, you're done. There's no more. The day of judgment, that is it. Either you going up or you going down. You don't want to wait that long. So you need to humble yourself, just like it says in 2 Chronicles 7:14. The first thing on there is to humble yourself. If you cannot humble yourself and ask God to show you your heart every single day, every single day, right before you take a nap in the day, before you go to sleep, when you wake up, God, show me my heart in some way, you are already messing up. I don't care what God has shown you. God has shown me that I am gold standard. Okay? He also showed me that I made it. Okay? However, Jesus has not come back yet. So there's always room to improve, at least. And in order to improve, you need to cast out whatever is in you that is causing you not to improve. So when you ask God to show you your heart, ask him to show you how to improve. You're most likely going to receive something that tells you that you need to be corrected. And that's what this dream was showing me, that there was something in me that needs to be corrected. All right. So that is pretty much what I want to say about that. Please continue to show God your heart. I know I've told people this before, and they told me that they were afraid of what God would say. I mean, you ask God to show you your heart, ask him to show you what's wrong. Like, you're most likely not going to be perfect. You're most likely going to receive something that's wrong. So, I mean, it's a scary thing to ask, but we have to be willing to receive that correction and be willing to change and be willing to grow in God. So I actually thank God for this dream. I thank him for not allowing me to continue on thinking that, there was nothing wrong, and just continue to grow in him. So that being said, let's get into the dream. So again, I was shown that I needed to deliver something. Now, in the previous dream that I showed, that was showing that is a new job that I have, as I'm delivering things. I don't necessarily know what that means on this earth, but symbolically, it's blessing somehow. I don't really know what that's going to look like, but it's not really our job to fully understand things that God tells us to do. It's our job to just do what he tells us to do and pray and ask for him to show us what it means, but not beat ourselves up on trying to figure it out. Just be led by God. So that's what I did. I was delivering the package, and then as I was leaving, as I'm doing this job, I got distracted. I got distracted by something that I thought wouldn't take that long. Like, it's a quick little pit stop. But the pit stop became a change of food, came a dirty dress, my car is right there, but now I have to go all the way around the building. It came all of this. It came shame because I didn't want people to see me and all this stuff. So there's that. And then also I ordered nachos, and they gave me back something that I didn't order, something that was similar, but it's not what I ordered, because it was like a pizza, and what's pizza is bread and cheese, was nachos, bread and cheese, but that's not what I ordered. So what I think it was happening was that the workers, they knew who I was. See, the kingdom of darkness, they see our star, they know what anointing we have. Sometimes they may not know exactly like what the anointing is, or know exactly like what's going on, but they know something's up with this person. I'm not saying all of them. I'm not sure how that works, but I know some of them biblically. That's what happened with Moses. They wanted to kill him because they knew his star. Happened with Abraham. They wanted to kill him because they knew about his star. And that was like, I think Abraham was before he was even born. And then they tried to kill him after he was born. Or it was the day of him being born. I can't entirely remember how when they saw their stars, but they knew before, like, the kingdom of darkness knew about Abraham before Abraham knew about himself. The kingdom of darkness knew about Moses before Moses knew about himself. So there's that. So that's what I believe this was. I believe the workers were the actual people who worked for the kingdom of darkness, who know exactly what they're doing, full-blown witches and warlocks, or it could be the straight-up demons. And it's showing that either, I guess, they fear me, or they know that they are inferior to me, and they're just like, what the heck? Like, she's here. Why is she here? Well, while she's here, let's try to make it seem comfortable. Try to make her seem like she wants to stay here. And so they gave me this pizza, and I had a knowing it was supposed to taste better than the nachos. However, that's not what I ordered. Okay. And I think it was supposed to distract me. So it was showing that even though I got distracted by coming over here, that whatever they tried to send to me didn't work, because I instantly was just like, this isn't it. However, I was still going to eat it. So it was like, I knew the truth, but at the same time, I was just like, I mean, maybe it'll taste better. So I think it's showing like the kingdom of darkness is trying to send something to me that I'm going to know the truth and most likely ignore it. So this is like a warning saying, do not ignore it. You know the truth, stick with it. Okay. And then even when I saw that, I had the option to just go ahead and leave. But instead I was just like, no, let me go and try and sit down, because, you know, they're being really nice. And I was thinking that in the dream too, like, they're being really nice. They probably expect me to sit down. Let me sit down. People pleaser. Okay. And it was like, once I gave in that little tiny inch of being a people pleaser, it like, boom, it was like, okay, we got her. And the students, I do believe the students are people who are just blind to all of this, people trying to live their best life now, but are not right with God at all. So this could be either people who claim to be Christians, people who are not Christian, it could be anybody, but that are under the influence of the kingdom of darkness. And the fact that I saw them at my age that I am now, it looked like, because like I said, I saw somebody that I went to high school with, who graduated a year above me. And, you know, I saw all of this. I believe is showing like people my age should be, majority of the people my age are most likely in this issue, this pool, right? Of like spiritually, they are at a middle school level, which is like not okay. So I'm not sure if it was like I'm not sure if it was like spiritually they were at a lower level, or it's just like at a lower level mentally, or what, but basically they're still at a lower level. Like the dream I had before showed that I graduated high school, and these people who are supposed to be my age are in middle school. And in the dream that I had before this, so I think it's like a part two, the dream that I had before this was showing that like I graduated and these people aren't even in high school yet. Like they're still in middle school. So yeah, so to continue, I started to really realize, I don't even think I fully sat down yet, but I was just like, no, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. And I knew, like, if I sat down, it's so crowded in here, I probably would not have been able to get out. So I said, I need to get up, I need to go. And I think that's when I like really realized how dirty it was. And then I saw that guy. Now, the guy that I saw, I've had a dream and he was in it before. And the dream before, he was also being used again to see if I would trip up because of him, because he really bullied me growing up. And the dream that I had before was showing like, oh, you're a lot prettier now. Are you gonna try and like, show him that you're prettier now, and that he shouldn't have treated you that way? Are you gonna try and say something? In the dream that I had before, I was like, no, like I completely ignored him. But in this dream, I did allow him to cause me to have fear of men. And so I believe what that was showing was that that sometimes I can overcome it and sometimes I didn't, which means that there's an issue there that I need to address personally. And I've talked about this before, about traumas and past traumas that you need to get past. And so I was seeking God on it, because I was just like, did what he do truly traumatize me? And then when I was truly seeking God, and that's the thing, the world a lot of times talks about how you need to forget your past, and I've talked about this before too, but if you truly want to get past a trauma, you have to remember. But it's not like remember on your own. There's some things in my past that I asked God, I said, God, if this isn't a trauma, do I have to remember? Because if I don't, please don't let me remember it. Like, I'm good. I just don't feel like remembering it. Like, it wasn't a fear. It was literally just, I just don't feel like remembering it. But when I was thinking about this and what that guy did to me, I was like, I need to remember. And then I asked God, honestly, because I was able to remember, and I said, wait a minute. There were some things that I did that I only did because I allowed it to happen. I could have put my foot down. I could have spoke up and said things. I was like, why didn't I say anything? And I was like, people pleasing. I was like, people pleasing is something that, I've really overcome it a lot, but this dream is showing me, no, there's still a little bit in me. And so I was like, so I'm seeking God. I'm like, God, where did it start? Where did it start? So I'm still going through that process with God. And already he has brought things to my memory that happened when I was like, I think I was like 10, 11 years old. And so I'm continuing to seek God. And like just now, just as I'm talking about it, I just remember something that happened when I was in kindergarten that was a cause of people pleasing. So I'm still going through that walk with God, just to remember at least a little bit, to know where it came from, and just go as far as back as I can. And then what I like to do to get past traumas is, I've talked about this before, you want to seek God and ask God to bring somebody to you, or you can seek him on your own. Now, personally, example is a trauma that I had to seek God on, because I couldn't talk to the person that was involved, because I realized that the person that was involved, it was very hard for me to love that person. When I told them that I loved them, I didn't fully mean it. And so I was like, God, what is going on? And I couldn't talk to them about it, because I was like, if I talk to them about it, like, I don't know how that's going to work. So I was like, let me talk to God and then ask God, do I need to talk to this person about it? And so when I sought God on it, something that this person had did to me, like over 10 years ago, was brought to my memory. And I was like, oh my gosh, I am still upset over that. I'm still hurt over that. And I was like, I'm probably never going to get an apology from that person for that, just because of the fact that it was so long ago and they probably don't remember. However, I also don't need an apology, because I do forgive that person for what they did. They were young, like whatever. So getting an apology, that's something that I say too. Like, a lot of people seek apologies, but that's not going to fix it. And then a lot of times somebody apologizes to you and they're like, I already apologized to that. You need to get over it. That means nothing when it's a trauma. A trauma has to do with the event and what that issue led to. And so I had to release that, because I was like, okay, I'm upset with this person because I'm blaming them on the event that happened, which means I need to get over the event, and I need to realize that that person didn't, that person didn't fully cause the event. It's just that what they said, it was like a domino effect to the event. And it's hard to explain, but it's just like, you want to seek God on what that aspect is, like where it's coming from. For me, it was the event. Now, yes, there are some people who are genuinely hurt over the person. So a perfect example is, let's say somebody that was raped, right? And You can receive apology from the person that raped you. However, that event is still causing trauma. So the next time you try to be intimate with a spouse, you're flinching, you have issues because of the event that happened. You still need to handle that event. It doesn't matter how many times the person that raped you apologizes. There was an event that happened, and sometimes we genuinely cannot talk to the person. See, the person that raped them caused the event to happen. The event is the trauma. And sometimes you cannot talk to the person who did it because they genuinely don't understand. A lot of times that person's like, well, I already apologized. You need to get over it. They don't understand. So sometimes you do need to seek God and ask him, God, like, first try and deal with the trauma with just God, but sometimes you do have to ask God to send somebody else to you that's going to help you. And perfect example, like when I was younger, I went to a counselor at the high school because I was very hurt over something and I was really upset. And I went in there to talk to the counselor. This lady, I will never forget this. I talked to her. She didn't say nothing. She just let me talk. She didn't cut me off. She didn't tell me I need to let it go. She didn't shame me in any way. She just let me talk. And when I talked it out, I ended up releasing it. I don't even remember when I was upset. I was so upset. I remember going there being so upset. And then while I was talking, the answer to what I was saying came to me. And I was like, you know what? I'm fine. It's fine. And she was like, okay. And that's it. I was like, can I talk to you? She said, yeah. And then at the end, okay. All she said to me. Because there's something about talking it out. And I talked about this before. I have a few friends that I can just let loose. They don't judge me, shame me. They don't bring it up again. They really talk to me. And so one thing I want to say, when God leads you to somebody, this is going to be somebody that you truly believe is listening to you, that you truly believe that you can talk to, that you believe is not going to shame you. When you release issues in your past that to somebody that you feel like is not listening to you, you're never going to fully want to let it out. Like, you're most likely going to say everything, but it's different. Like, your spirit is most likely still going to be holding on to something. And so that's one thing I want to say. And then also when it comes to our past, I know that there was this one pastor guy, part of his childhood was locked somewhere. That is his past. How is he to get delivered? How is he supposed to, release that if he doesn't deal with it? So that's why you can't just forget past. You can't do it. Okay. And I understand if you're bringing up the past that has been dealt with, that is not hurting you, and you're just bringing it up to be manipulative. And my mom made a post about that. And that's like a Jezebel spirit. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who are genuinely hurting and are trying to seek help, because part of them is hurting. And the best way to tell the difference is if you allow that person to talk. Just let them let it out. Let them let out that pain. And when they let out that pain, that's when you can truly see, is this a Jezebel issue, or is this a truly traumatized person that is hurting, that needs to let out that needs to let out the pain. So that's something that I need to deal with this person, because it did cause a lot of pain. But like I said, I'm going through this ride with God, asking him to bring things to my memory. And once he brings the full, where it all rooted to my memory, I plan to, seek God on it, try and talk to God. And then what I like to do is ask God, should I talk to somebody else about this? And there was one time he let me talk to my best friend. And there was one time he let me to talk to my prayer buddy. I think I've even talked to another friend of mine. I need a name for her, but, cause I have a prayer buddy best friend, but yeah, it allowed me to, sometimes I talk to these people and I literally just talk about, the pain. I'm not complaining about anybody. I'm not, trying to shame anybody. It's mainly just the pain and the issue. And another example I would like to put in that is, let's say, of why it's important to most likely talk to somebody who wasn't there. So let's say there is an older brother and a younger sister, and they're walking up a mountain. And the little girl hurts herself. The boy was in charge of the girl. And growing up, this little girl is still bringing up this issue that happened in the past. And so she's like, you know what, let me talk to my brother about it and let's just talk it out. Let's get past it. What the brother doesn't know is that when she fell, it caused fear, and that fear caused, where she fell or hurt herself, whatever, it caused a trauma. The brother doesn't know that. All the brother hears is, oh my goodness, she's most likely blaming me on what happened to her, and da 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 da. So let me try and get her to remember something good. That's not going to help that person pass that trauma. And that's why, for me personally, it's just a lot easier talking to somebody who wasn't there, because somebody who was there, all they remember is the good things. And then they also feel like you're attacking them. And it's like, I'm bringing this up because the event hurt me, not the person that was with me. I've already forgiven you. I don't care how many times you apologize. That's not going to help me. What's going to help me is to get past the event that happened. And to bring it back to this, I think what really caused it for me, because I don't even remember the person who did it, but I'm slowly remembering the event. There was an event that I was doing something, and I was so young, I don't even remember, and somebody was just screaming and yelling at me. I genuinely can't remember who it was. This literally just came to me. And so I need to seek God on the rest of that memory so that I can fully come past it. Because I think what happened, I vaguely remember just sitting there being yelled at and thinking, I can't speak up. If I speak up, it's going to get worse. And that caused that trauma. And I was so young when that happened. And it literally just came to me right now. And it's not the person that was yelling at me. I probably would never get an apology, especially since I don't remember. I could care less if they came and apologized to me now. It's the event. And it's the fact that I was sitting in that moment and said, I can't speak up. So I need to continue seeking God on that. Anyways, so to continue with the nachos being switched over to this pizza. So I believe it's like the kingdom of darkness. You know, they say, oh, I'm going to try and give you something similar to it, like joy and love. You know, they try to give us something similar. And then at the same time, what the world gives, you have to work at it. Like, here's some, like, for instance, God gave me godly friends. I don't have to work on our friendship. All right, I'm 100% myself. Like, I recently just asked a couple of my friends, I was like, would you still love me if I blew up your phone with orcas? Because I love orcas. And I have another person that I know that be like blowing up our phone with their favorite animal. So I said, bet, like, let me blow up y'all phone with my favorite animal. And that's just who I am. Like, I love orcas. So I was like, okay, let me like send you like a picture of an orca once a day, because, you know, it's great. And I don't feel ashamed. I don't feel fear. I don't feel like I need to keep, you know, step on eggshells. Now, the kingdom of darkness will try and send you a friend that's similar, I guess, that you have to work at. You have to constantly keep, you know, walking on eggshells. Like, I had a friend that I believe was my best friend, and now having these godly friends, I'm saying, no, that friend, they just did all the talking. They did all the planning. I was just there just to be there, and try not to offend. When you have truly godly friends, and you have anything from God, you should not have to force anything to happen. You should not have to force anything not to happen. It's just going to be you and them. There we go. You, them, and God. Okay. So it's like that's how this pizza was. It was something that's similar, but you still have to do your work to make it look good. No. Now, I already talked about the dude, like, trying to leave and, you know, being afraid of him. That just a trauma I need to get past. But then I'm leaving, and then I see this gym area. Now, if you know me, I love working out. But I work out for God. When I work out, I'm worshiping, I'm thanking God. A lot of times when they tell you like to punch and stuff, I'm punching the devil, you know, high kicks and stuff. I'm kicking the devil, or like knee highs, I'm kneeing him in the gut, you know, I'm fighting, you know. So it's not like, oh, let me work out so I can look good and whatever. And I think that's like the kingdom of darkness was like trying to entice me with working out around all of these 5 million people. Honey, I work out at home. Like, I'm not trying to work out for people. Now, sometimes I do go to the gym, and even then I don't work out for the people. And that's something I want to say real quick. A lot of times people go to the gym, and because they're so focused on everybody else, that's when they mess up. No, I don't care if the instructor said 20 some push-ups. I'm not the best at push-ups, so I'm about to go over there to the wall and I'm gonna do some wall push-ups. I don't care what if people are looking at me. I'm not working out for other people. I'm working out for God, myself, and God. You know, God, myself, and God. Like, it's just us, okay? Because He's leading me to work out so I can fix things, right? And so that's one thing. So instantly, as soon as I saw that, I was like, something ain't right here. I gotta go. And especially with the people pleaser stuff, because I hate people pleasing. I hate it so much. I hate it anytime that I give into it. I hate it. So when that happened first, I was like, absolutely not. I'm out of here. This whole entire building is just no. And so then I go back to the reception dude, and now I'm going in a maze trying to get out of here. Because this little tiny, I said, oh, let me just get a smoothie. I didn't even get what I wanted to get. Like, how many of y'all backslide from God to try and get something? You don't even get what you tried to get when you backslid from God. Because all these other flashy lights then came at you and the kingdom of darkness came. Like, no, Satan will try and promise you all kinds of things. You're not going to get it. You're just going to get something else. That's just going to make you feel worse. And that's pretty much how that was showing. So I was like, no, I need to get out of here, right? So I'm getting out. I get out. Finally, I'm leaving. I don't care. There's people coming up. I'm like, I don't want to be seen by them, but I need to go. Now, the really scary part was that I was dressed. I had on my full garments, but they were no longer white. They got dirty. Even as I'm leaving, my dress is still dirty. Thank God I didn't break a heel, but I was still dirty. And that showed that even though I stepped away for something so tiny, it opened the door for all these 5 million things that caused my dress to be dirty. And it's crazy that I received this right after Halloween. Because how many of y'all Christians talking about some, oh, we're just going to celebrate for just one day. Or, I didn't even dress up my kid. I just let them go get some candy real quick. Or we're just going to do trunk or treat. Or we're just going to do something in our own house. We're just going to dress up in our own house. We're not going to go trick or treating. We're just going to dress up here. We're going to get some candy here. We're just going to... No. A little leaven leavens the whole lump. A little sin can open up a huge door. My thing is, anytime you have to justify yourself doing something that you know goodness well is against God, just don't do it. Even if you don't even know the truth. Like, here's the thing, like, Halloween has absolutely nothing to do with Christians. Now, I understand Christmas because they claim it's about Jesus's birth. Christmas is also extremely pagan. That's a whole nother subject that I've talked about multiple times. My mom's talked about multiple times. Other saints of God have talked about multiple times. But we about to talk about Halloween. Halloween has absolutely nothing to do with Christmas, with Jesus. Nothing to do with Christians. Nothing. Why are you fighting so hard to celebrate it? And I saw this video this dude was talking about. He was like, people say that they want to celebrate Halloween for the kids that only know about Halloween because of the adults. Like, if your kid didn't even know about it in the first place, like, they would be fine. And I get it. Like, you're just like, well, my kid is surrounded by everybody else celebrating it. Honey, that's a perfect, like, environment to teach your child how to think for themselves, how to not be a people pleaser, how to stand up for what's right. That is perfect. Let my kid come back home talking about some Halloween. Let's talk about how to be bold in Christ. Because we need to remember that we are in an army. Okay? You give me one soldier that fought in an army sitting on the ground crying, trying to be nice. Did they survive? So, my thing is, the little sin can open up to big things. Watching certain things, listening to certain things, binge watching, scrolling. That little tiny bit of sin can open up the door to so many things. And as Christians, there is a constant fight every single day. So anytime you're sitting there just going like, oh, I'm fine. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm all right. There is always something that needs to be something needs to be fought. And what I'm saying is what happens is the moment a Christian says, I'm perfectly fine, I don't need anything. And they're saying that as in, I don't need the Bible anymore. I don't need to pray anymore. No. You always need the word of God. The word of God is the one thing that kills the enemy because it's the sword of the spirit. You always need to pray because if you claim to love God, shouldn't you want to talk to him? All right. Fasting is a way of submitting to God. Submit yourselves therefore unto God, and resist the devil, and he'll flee from you. How do you expect to submit to God when you don't even talk to him? When you don't fast for him, when you don't pray to him, when you don't sing to him, when you don't do nothing for the Lord? And it's so crazy to me because I'm like, Jesus came down and died on the cross for your sins. And I made a post about this. Like, he was accused, he was spit at, he was yelled at, he went through all of this. And you can't give him like 10 minutes out of your day just to pray. You can't ask him to show you your heart so that when you stand before him, the thing that he did on the cross for you wasn't in vain. So I really pray that you all seek God. I've talked about this so many times. Seek him every single day, all day if you have to show you your heart. All right. God bless you. Have a nice one.